Hi guys, welcome to another Go Show Records tutorial. Just a very quick tutorial today. I'm going to be showing you how to do the reverse reverb effect, or the aaah effect. It sounds a little something like this.
Can you feel it?
A very famous example of this effect was Steve Angelo and Layback Luke's track "Show Me Love," which they use the reverse reverb effect pretty much all the way through, and they side chain it as a pad. So there's lots of different ways you can use this. I'll run through how to actually get the effect. You want to start off with an actual vocal sample or a pad sample, but I'm using a vocal sample in this example.
Can you feel it?
I'll just turn the delay off.
Can you feel it?
And what we're going to do with this sample is, once you've dragged the sample in, double click it, it'll bring the channel settings up, right click on the actual waveform and click edit. This opens up the FL plugin called Edison. Now what we're going to do from here is, if you hold Control and scroll your mouse in and zoom into the start, what you need to do is find a sustained part of the initial opening sample which holds the most kind of tonality to it, which is what you want your reverb, your reverse reverb to sound like. So if we just mess around with highlighting a few sections, click and play to see what they sound like. Now if I use that sample, when I reverse reverbed it, the reverse reverb sample would just sound like kind of, which is no good. That's not what we want. We want to hear a bit of tonality from the vocal. So if I try this section here, now that's got a little bit more of the actual tonality in the sample. I'm just going to shorten it down a little bit. And I see we've got quite a consistent tone there. So what you need to do next is, once you have you're happy with the selection you've made, hover over to this icon here and drag and drop this into your playlist. It should give you a tiny little clip. Again, if you hold shift and scroll your mouse, you can zoom in. I'm just going to mute all these other channels I've got on. And here is our new sample. If you double click that again, it'll open up the channel settings. So the first thing we need to do with this sample is reverse it. And then if you hover over to the effects icon up here and scroll that up to channel 1, this will send it to a mixer channel. If I just close both of these down and I open up my mixer, go to channel 1, and on the first insert you want to insert the fruity reverb. There's lots of other reverbs you could use, and this isn't the best, but I'm just going to use it for the sake of this tutorial. To show you how easy this actually is, I'm just going to use a preset. You could use pretty much everything. I'll just go for the venue. So I'm just going to drag the fruity reverb down in the corner. I'll just close these to tidy it up a little bit. And then I'm going to open back up the playlist to get our sample, which is here. Now you can hear that the sample's got a bit of a reverb on it. It's almost an echo after the sound. So I mean, that does sound alright, but I want to take away all these cuts so that it's exactly as the original sound was. Oh, take that off that way. I'm also just going to warm it up a little bit and add a little bit more decay. What the decay does is the amount of time it takes for the reverb to reach 0 sound after it's hit. So when you can hear the reverb tailing off, it should take 3.9 seconds. There we go. Now that's probably just about enough time that you'll need to reverse this sample. So I'm going to close everything down. I'm going to hover over to this little select icon, make sure my settings on bar, and I'm going to drag out about 3 bars and on song mode press play just to hear what that sounds like. Right, that's brilliant. So before the sample closes, before the loop that we've made here ends, the sound's gone to 0. So the next step is go File, Export, and Wave File. You then want to save this into wherever it is that you save your packs. I'm just going to call this Reverse Reverb, hit save, and start. Now go back to the pencil tool. I'm just going to get rid of that, and I'm going to find the sample that I've just made. Fix. There it is. So now if I drag this sample in, it should have, this is where the sound hit, and this is the reverb coming off it. What you need to do now is again double click the sample and reverse it. So this re-reverses the initial reversal, and then if we have a little play through that, you should initially hear the sound. But obviously on the end there you had that little hit which you don't want. So if we go to the magnet, the little horseshoe shape up here, select none so the grid's free to move. Go up to the slice tool, which is this here, zoom in again, and I'm just going to slice off this end bit. Go back to the pencil tool, right click to delete it. So now if I play through this section, we should just have the reverse reverb. So the next step is lining this up with the vocal. You want to make sure that this is on none again, so you can move it freely. And you want to line it up just before the vocal comes in. Now this section here is down to pretty much taste on how you want it to sound, and you do need to include other effects around this to kind of mask it. But I'll just play this through so you can hear what it sounds like. I'm going to stick the delay back on the vocal too.
Can you feel it?
Now that went on a little bit too long for me, so I'm just going to drag it back that way. I'm also going to turn it down a tad because it's a little bit loud.
Can you feel it?
So now if I add the effects in that I've got, which is just simply a reverse crash, and a straightforward crash, and I'll play them along with the sample.
Can you feel it?
Now if I add some music in with this,
Can you feel it?
and that's it. Very simple way to get the reverse reverb effect. If there's any questions on this, don't hesitate to give us a shout. Just leave a message on YouTube or info@goldshowrecords.com. Subscribe, rate, like, and don't forget to check out the website, which is www.goldshowrecords.com.